And welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video, and welcome to the preview of Barcelona against Deportivo La Coruna in La Liga. Round 16 is coming up this weekend, and of course El Clasico is just around the corner. This game is massive going into it, and we're going to be breaking it down and having a look at what is going to be happening tomorrow evening at the Camp Nou. As always, guys, the preview is coming to you courtesy of the OneFootball app, which is in the description down below for your convenience. 95% of OneFootball app users believe that Barcelona will win tomorrow. 70,000 people have got involved on the app, and they believe that Barcelona will be victorious against Depor at the Camp Nou tomorrow night. Now, apologies first of all for the delay in the preview. Usually I get the previews up to you a bit earlier than this, guys, but I have been out today actually watching my local side. You're going to find out more about those kind of things in my Q&A video, which coincidentally, thank you very much, guys, I've just reached 49,000 subscribers, so we are getting very, very close now to that 50,000 mark. Thank you all so much. It's been a massive leap very recently, and I really appreciate your support. But on to the game itself. 8:45 tomorrow night. It will be kicking off in Barcelona. As always, guys, the time here where you are, and it will be the last match on the Sunday in La Liga. Now, a few results to bring you from earlier on today, and currently where we're standing in the La Liga table. A very good result for us. Valencia actually lost earlier on today to Eibar. That was 2-1. Valencia losing in the league, which is massive for us. And currently, as I'm recording this, the game hasn't finished, so of course it could change. But right now, Atletico Madrid are currently 0-0 with Alaves. So that would be drop points for Atletico, which again would be absolutely huge. And Real Madrid were due to play Leganes, but they didn't play this weekend due to their participation in the Club World Cup, which coincidentally they did win earlier on today. So Real Madrid not in action, Atletico currently dropping points, and Valencia lost earlier on, giving us a massive opportunity tomorrow. We can really put a lead together. We can really put the pressure on if we're victorious against Deportivo La Coruna. Currently, we're 5 points clear of Valencia in second, and with Real Madrid not playing this weekend, we still remain currently 8 points clear of Madrid. But going into that El Clasico game, if we win tomorrow, we could potentially be going into that game with an 11-point gap between ourselves and Real Madrid, which even if we lost the Clasico, it would still be a huge gap. But obviously, we're not going there to lose. But we'll have more about that coming next week. Right now, our target has to be Deportivo, and that's in the players' minds as well. They cannot go into this game thinking about next week. The most important thing right now is this game. This is still 3 points that up for grabs. We've sort of dropped points in recent weeks when we shouldn't have. We drew against Valencia. We drew at the Camp Nou against Celta Vigo. Our mind has to be absolutely right tomorrow going into this game, and the players have got to be on it, because in the past, we have had slip-ups against Deportivo La Coruna, and particularly after massive wins. You will know exactly what I'm talking about. Last season, March it was, 2017, we just completed the unbelievable historic comeback against PSG, and it all kicked off against Depor, didn't it? We went into the next game, we expected to blow them apart. Neymar was sent on his visit to Brazil. He was given that break that he had, and we lost the game 2-1. It was an incredibly unfortunate result. After that PSG game, we were on a massive high, and suddenly we were brought back to reality. So that really should show the players tomorrow. They've got to be on it. They've got to have their minds firmly on this game, or it could slip away from us. Apart from that result, though, there have been some very encouraging performances against Deportivo in the past. Back in October 2016, we beat them 4-0 at the Camp Nou. Rafinha scoring 2 goals on that day. Suarez and Messi also on the score sheet. And I'm sure you'll all remember back in April of 2016, we beat them 8-0 away from home. And that was during the time where we had that massive lead in La Liga under Luis Enrique, and suddenly that lead had gone. We were blowing our chances. We were really messing up our results. We were blowing it all. And going into that game, the big question was, can Barcelona win again? We won the game 8-0. Suarez scoring 4 goals, Messi scoring, Rakitic, Neymar, even Marc Bartra on the score sheet that day. So clearly against Depor, apart from that result that I mentioned where we lost, we do have a good record, and we do score goals against them. As it stands in La Liga, obviously we said that we are top of the league right now, but as for Deportivo, they are currently in 17th place. They actually got a few decent results in recent weeks. They were really down the table. They beat Leganes last week, then they lost to Sevilla before that, but before that game they did beat Las Palmas. So they've won 2 out of the last 3. They've got a bit of confidence back. They're going to be coming to the Camp Nou knowing they could possibly get a result if our minds are elsewhere. So the main thing in this game, and the main theme from me, is that the players basically have to go out there and forget about everything else. I know it's very difficult, particularly given the situation of Sergio Busquets, and that's something that I'm going to come on to now, because Busquets is just 1 yellow card away from missing El Clasico. If he gets a yellow in this match, he will be suspended for that match. So the big dilemma for Valverde is, should Busquets start this game? And that is the massive question. situation. Valverde was asked about that earlier on. He came back with, it's the same points that we would pick up against Deportivo as we would against Real Madrid. So that's what we're going to treat the situation like, which I can understand. In some ways, obviously, we should go into this game expecting to beat Depor, but if we rested Busquets and didn't win this game due to that decision, and then we went and beat Real Madrid, we'd still have 3 points. There's no more points for beating Real Madrid. But on the other hand, Real Madrid, that Clasico game, always feels like more than just a game. It's more than just 3 points. Going into that, you could be high on confidence, and whatever happens in that game, that could shape your season. So I still think we need to be massively cautious with Busquets, but the problem is with him, and always the problem is, we have nobody else. We don't really have a really suitable backup in his position. The only person that I would think of right now who's an out-and-out player who could slot into there is Oriol Busquets, but he has not been called up in the squad tomorrow. Obviously, players like Roberto can play there, Rakitic can play there, even Andre Gomez can play there, but it's not their natural position. I would like to see somebody like Samper, somebody like Oriol Busquets come in, and we know they're actually cut out for that position, because then we've got suitable Sergio Busquets backup. As it is right now, we don't really have that. We can put players there, but they're not naturally gifted in that position. So that's one of the questions that I would ask you guys today. Should Sergio Busquets start against Deportivo given his situation, or should he be benched for this game simply as a precaution? That is a very big question that I'm going to leave to you guys. One big positive though, or two big positives really, Iniesta and Mascherano are both in the squad for tomorrow's game. Both of them have recovered from their injuries and they will be available for selection tomorrow. A quick word on Dembele and also Rafinha. Valverde was asked about them both in today's press conference, and he basically said they were both in exactly the same situation in terms of their recovery from their respective injuries. Both of them are going well, both of them are training now with the first team, they're doing the full sessions, but neither of them are quite ready for this game, and both of them could possibly be in contention to return against Real Madrid next week. If they don't return then, they will both certainly be back at the start of January for a hectic 2018 period. So good news on those two players, they should be back very, very shortly, but this match has come too soon for both of them. But as always guys, I'm now going to talk you through my particular lineup for this game, and I am going to go with the strongest possible team available, and I'm not going to put Mascherano straight back in this team simply because I think Thomas Vermaelen has been excellent. He was thrown in at the deep end, wasn't he? You know, we had nobody else, he came into the team, he'd hardly played any football, and I think he deserves a bit of credit. You know, he's done really well, and as I'm talking, I'm looking at my phone right now, and I can see Atletico Madrid have just taken the lead against Alaves. So earlier on I said they're dropping points, we would extend our gap even further if we win. Right now though, they are beating Alaves, so hopefully maybe they will get one back, but it looks now like Atletico could be heading towards victory. But anyway, on with the team guys. Alba at left back. I hope Semedo plays at right back and not Sergio Roberto, but obviously we know that Valverde does like Roberto in that position. I would personally start Sergio Busquets. I would start him and I would say to him, stay out of trouble. If you have to make a tackle, don't really put yourself on the line. Don't give the referee an opportunity to book you. Don't go down. Don't go talking to the ref. Just stay out of trouble. Try and do that. And if we're 1 goal up, if we're 2 goal up, the first opportunity we get, we take him off. If we can take him off at half time, if we're ahead, I would certainly do that. But I would feel a lot more comfortable starting the game with Busquets. I would either start Iniesta or I would bring him on. I definitely think he has to play at some point tomorrow just to gather some momentum ahead of El Clasico. Maybe you could start somebody else in that midfield area, or maybe you could bring him on. I personally, once again, would start him and then take him off when we're ahead. I always like starting the game with our strongest team. It makes everybody realise that we're going to go for it. We're trying to win the game as quickly as we possibly can, and when we're in the position then Valverde can do what he likes and he can rest his players. I would love to see tomorrow Sergi Roberto in midfield. It probably won't happen. It's probably never going to happen, but I would just love to see him in that area alongside Busquets and alongside Iniesta. I think that midfield would be unbelievable. And the front three, I would love to see Paco Alcácer, who I think has been excellent recently when he's been featuring. He really changed the game against Villarreal. He provided a fantastic assist for Luis Suarez, so I would start him in that front three. And Messi and Suarez both need to play, both need to get some confidence ahead of that Real Madrid game, and both of them have very good records against Deportivo La Coruña in terms of scoring goals. Like I say guys, there's a few alternatives to that team. You could bring in Mascherano, you could maybe put Iniesta and Busquets on the bench. I don't think Valverde should rest around too much with this team though. He doesn't want to tinker too much, he doesn't want to upset the apple cart and upset the confidence and the momentum going into next week's game. I would play your strong team. We've got a week to recover. Real Madrid have got a long distance journey. We don't have to worry too much about rotating in terms of fitness, but obviously that Sergio Busquets worry with that yellow card is an issue that we certainly need to bear in mind. But as always guys, leave your thoughts down below for this game. I am going to go with a 3-0 score prediction. I think we're going to do well tomorrow. I think Valverde is going to pick a strong team. We've got a good squad selected for this game, and I think we're going to win the game comfortably, and I think Messi's going to get on the score sheet, and I would go with Suarez scoring once again. Let me know your thoughts down below guys. I will look forward to hearing those as always, and I'll see you tomorrow for the game against Depor. We will have lots of reaction following that video, and following that game we will of course then start the big countdown to El Clasico. I'll see you soon, but until then, as always, Vasca El Barça! 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 Barça!